Welcome to the Tied Together podcast, where we feature everyday people doing extraordinary things. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share so others can join in on the conversation too. Today's guest is one of three co-owners of the premier wine brand, S. Revere Wines. Ashanti took people skills, experience in the restaurant industry, and pure determination and helped launch a company that delivers to multiple states across the U.S. She's been featured in Inspire Magazine, Forbes, and the Discovery Channel's reality show, I Quit. Hosts her own podcast, Taste and Toast, highlighting bars and restaurants, and has been a guest speaker at Cornell University, local schools, and much more. Please welcome Ashanti Middleton.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm glad to have you on. Your personality is just so dynamic, and I am really excited to kind of dive into that. So talk to me and the viewers and just tell us a little bit about S. Revere Wines and where that came from.
Okay, so S. Revere Wines was started by, like you said, the three best friends. We've been best friends now for about 28 years, which is a blessing in itself because you don't find that at all anymore. Like long-lasting friendships like that, and we're still best friends to this day. It's about 28 years, and in 2011, we were drinking wine, and that was our favorite pastime, was to drink some wine, and we was just like, how do we do this, but at that time, we were like young 20-something-year-olds. We just couldn't afford it. We didn't know what we were doing. But that day, we started our research. Like that very day, we started researching and looking up stuff, and we got rejected a lot. Like we would call vineyards, and they, we would tell them what we were doing. They would just like hang up on us because there's a budget that's attached to this kind of thing. We were just like, ugh. They don't even want to give us no information. But we found one in Cali that was like, okay, well, it's going to be difficult because y'all are working on such a small scale, but I'm going to help y'all. And it's just been history from there.
Yeah, you've been featured on Discovery Channel, like I said, and in Forbes magazine. The Black Resource Network highlights you all the time. You're in multiple different locations. You're really doing a great job. And I know that you personally do a lot of the promotion, a lot of the selling. I'm curious, were there any moments where it just seemed impossible? Like this is just not going to go anywhere?
Absolutely. See, before you even get your product in a bottle, it's a lot of red tape you got to cut through, like with the legalities of alcohol and tobacco in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So in the U.S. period is difficult, and then each state has their own laws. So New York is one of the tougher states. It is because New York has a lot of regulations with everything. So of course we want to start here because we were born and raised here. So it was very difficult to get legalized here, and I think no, California is a fairly easy state. Just every state that you're in, you have to see what their laws are, their local laws, and their city laws with your product, and then you have to go through red tape. I mean, each single state. So right now we're blessed to be in about 6 states, but there's 50 states, so we still have a ways to go. But we're growing, and that's what matters.
Does it get easier to tackle the next state once you've tackled one?
It does, because this game is a lot of follow the leader in this game, even with stores, with wine shops and restaurants. Once they see you have a resume and they see like, oh, there's up to like 10 stores that have you, okay, it's safe. Nobody wants to be the first one.
Right.
Except I find in the Black community, they don't mind being the first one. They're like, oh yeah, we want to carry you exclusively. But with other, cultures, I hate to say it, they're weary. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of follow the leader. Once they see you on TV and see that you're in a couple other stores and restaurants, it's just easier for them to accept you after that.
That makes sense. As I just said a few seconds ago, that you have this great salesman ability.
I do.
You have the gift of gab. It's very easy for you to talk to people. And I've been a salesman probably my whole life. So I can always recognize another good salesman, and I always appreciate it. I always like to see somebody working in that craft. It's really exciting to watch. But I want to know, did you always have that salesmanship about you, or is that something that you kind of nurtured throughout your life?
I did nurture it, but I learned that skill set in high school from playing basketball.
How's
So I
that?
was a little shy in high school, like when I first got there, and before that, I was considered like shy.
Hmm.
But high school basketball, it just takes it. Those were probably the best 4 years of my life
Okay.
to date. The best 4 years of my life. I learned so much in high school about life,
Mm.
um, friendships, betrayal, sisterhood. On a basketball team, you learn sisterhood, you learn fellowship, you learn discipline, so much, and that beef comes out of you. And as I morphed into a better basketball player and more confident on a court, I was like that in life. It just like
Mm.
it just went through my whole life, and I became this like beast. You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, I'm good in basketball. How
Yeah,
about
I
that? All
didn't know
right.
that.
And then outside of that, um, it just transformed me into this really confident person.
Yeah.
So that's I'm grateful for it.
That's funny because as a child, I was super shy, like painfully shy. And I've talked
Right.
about it in previous episodes, but it was just ridiculous how shy I was.
Right.
And I got into the car business by somebody pushing me into it. I had no idea I knew I had salesmanship or salesman's ability, but I was
Right.
still kind of shy at that time. And I was probably 25. I don't remember how old I was. But anyway, it took me being backed into a corner like sink or float,
Right.
go out there and win to really gain that confidence about myself. And I know that there's a lot of people that have great ideas. They have great product ideas that they want to put out, but they are just too shy
Right.
to push
Right.
forward. And
It takes confidence.
as two former shy people, I want to know from you, like, what does the shy person do? They think they're going to fail, which they probably are. They think they're going to say the wrong thing, which they probably are. But
Right.
how do they get through that?
I learned through I learned through getting with the best.
Mm,
Because my school was John Brown, right? One of the best schools at the time was Francis Lewis High School, which is on Francis Lewis Boulevard.
right.
And you cannot get on a court with them and be shy. First quarter, you're done. You know what I'm saying? So you have to show up and show out. You have to put your best foot forward when you in the ring with the best.
Mm-hmm.
They are such a good school. They were better funded than we were. They had
Mm-hmm.
better training than we did. It's just a different tier school. So, the girls was just like, and yeah, it was dope and they used to kick our ass in the game, but it forced you to kind of, I'm not going to be out here being
Yeah.
embarrassed in front of these girls. I don't want them to walk away and say that, yo, that was the easiest game we ever played. Like, I can't do that. So a couple of those ass kickings, it trains you. It allows you to learn their skill set, learn their mindset, learn what they doing, how they get, so if you don't want to keep continuing failing that way. You just don't.
Right.
So, all right, each time y'all play us, y'all might win, but it's going to be tougher and tougher. It's going to be harder to bust my ass next time. I promise you. And that's
Right.
just the mindset. It's something that you got to be ready to do, like inside. Like,
Yeah.
you got to be ready.
I've heard plenty of times, like, one thing is like, you never want to be the smartest person in the room because then you're not growing. And the only way to get better is, like you said, is to go against the
Yeah, you
best. How are you going
have
to
to.
learn unless you go against
And
the best?
also too, you gotta surround yourself. Like having a mentor is important. Like in my adult life, I got mentors.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had mentors in my like younger years, like
Mm-hmm.
high school and stuff. I didn't really. So I had people that were mentor like that
Mm-hmm.
gave me mentorship, words and stuff, but they weren't like dedicated mentors.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I have two very strong and powerful mentor women in my life that is just it's amazing that they're non-judgmental.
Yeah.
They help me through things, and I even give them advice. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a great relationship. I think it's important. So I wish more young people had mentors. It would
Right.
make their lives easier, and it'll help set them on a better path
Mm-hmm.
if they had somebody mentoring them. But sadly, a lot of young people don't have mentors. They just don't.
That's true. And I feel like as a child, it's a little bit easier or a minor, I would say, it's a little bit easier to find a mentor. You got Boys and Girls Club, you have different clubs that allow you to
Right.
have mentors. But I ask this question a lot. As an adult, how do you find a mentor? Where do you go? Who do you talk to?
It's so one of my mentors, her name is Monique Davis. She is like she's my spiritual mother. So she's very Christian, very spiritual. She's not an old lady. She's a young, hip
Mm-hmm.
woman, but she looks at things through the lens of like God, like biblical. She makes me see things biblical, and also she sees things in the secular too. She could give you advice without even mentioning the Bible, but it just all makes sense. It all flows. And I've known her for, I don't know, 15 years now. And she's been my mentor ish since I was younger, but I really grabbed her as a mentor in my adult years. Just her life model is just, I wish I had the strength and the faith she had in God. I wish, I model her so well, even through her trials and whatever her challenges are. She just doesn't lose sight of God, which is a challenge for me, because when I'm going through trials, I get angry with God. I get very angry and I start to pout, and so I'm working on not doing that so much. And when things are wrong, I'm working on trying to pray harder.
Yeah.
And then the other mentor, her name is Rowena Husbands. She is heavy in this industry, like
in the wine industry.
No, like the entertainment. She's a celebrity photographer. Like if you Google her, you'll see her. She shot people from Missy Elliott, Aaliyah, blah blah blah. I can name them all. Like Nicki Minaj. I mean, she is the sole still shot photographer for Love and Hip Hop. She's been contracted with them since inception. Gotcha. So she doesn't do videography, she does photography, behind the scenes and upfront photography for them. She's responsible for all of their still shots. She edits them and she gets them over to Mona, and so she has helped me gain a lot of experience in the entertainment industry. And what's the word I'm looking for? What's that word that you do when you're not working? Internships. Right? And just took me on so many rides. Like it's crazy. Like I've been sitting with celebrities, just because of her and how to move around them and stuff like that. So she's just a dope lady.
Where'd you meet her?
I met Rowena through my homegirl Portia, who's a celebrity hairstylist. And Portia was like, "Yo, I want to invite you to this event tonight. It's a whiskey tasting with celebrities." And the celebrities that was there, it was like 2 celebrities, but one I remember is what's the guy named from Soul Food? He was in the show. He wasn't in the movie.
I don't think I watched the show. He's a dancer.
You didn't watch. All right, I'm gonna get that name for you. There was a bunch of celebrities there mingling, tingling, and Portia was like, "Yo, she worked right under Mona. You gotta get over there." And you could ask her what made me different. She said for the night was when I went up to her, I had my resume ready. Boom. I said, "My name is Ashanti Middleton. I understand you work very heavily in entertainment." I was young. This was like, I don't know, 6 years ago. And I wanted to take a look at my resume and let me know if I could help you and work with you in any way. And she said that took her so far back because, people don't do that.
Let me ask you this though. So in that situation, that's very ballsy, right?
Right. Oh, very.
And you can get shot down in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So a lot of people look at that situation and say, "Yeah, but what if I go up there and I get shot down?" And odds are that you might. Why is it worth the risk?
I had even a penny for the amount of rejection I took in this lifetime, I would be a millionaire. So I'm past that. I've been rejected. We get rejected now. I get rejected today. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't cut me. It doesn't. Now my wife, it bothers a little bit because she's just now stepping into the the life insurance world, selling. Never was a salesperson in her life. And people reject you. People dodge your calls. That's the name of the game. I know. And she's taking it so personally. And I'm like, "Babe, you cannot take it personal. This is the name of the game." But though that kind of, I call it amateur rejection. I can take those. I can eat those like gumdrops. You know what I'm saying? So, but at that time, I would have been more sensitive. It took about a month to call me. And I felt rejected throughout that month. I'm like, damn, she said she was going to call me, but she did. And she called me to do a little internship with her at Love and Hip Hop. I'll never forget it. It was so dope. I met all of them. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't believe this." Like I could not believe it. That's when I was really into Love and Hip Hop. Like it was like more popping than it is now. It was just like new. And ever since then, we've just been really close, and we just shared life experiences. And she's just amazing. She's just very hard, she's cutthroat because the industry is. She's very direct. Some of her words could slice you sometimes, but I love it. I eat it up.
Yeah.
I
Well, let me
love it.
ask you this, asking about the mentors and how you find them, right? So with this, with the second lady, you were very aggressive. You gave her your resume.
Right,
You had something to offer her though. You know,
right.
you had something to offer in terms of internship, making her workload a little bit lighter.
Hmm.
Did you have the same for the first young lady that's your spiritual mother?
No, I didn't. I met her at a much younger. I was like 15 when I met her,
Mm-hmm.
like 14 or 15 when I met her, and she was a first lady in the church, and she her workload, if anything, was. But I did offer her assistance. Like I would help her with whatever she needed. I would type things for her and just be around. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's somebody who you just want to be around. And
Mm-hmm.
if they call on you and ask you to do something for them, you would just do it because
But
you
that's still an
admire them so
offering.
much.
So I'm
I
getting the
guess it
same
is
kind of
right.
like kind
I
of
guess it is
there's like a trade-off, you
right.
know? You don't, and I've heard this in other podcasts, you don't really go out to people just with your hand out to
Right.
get things from them.
Angela
You
Yee recently talked about this too. Angela Yee,
mm,
because somebody called and said, "How do I get mentors? Like, I just graduated college. I'm looking for mentors in my field." She was like, "Look, be cool, be calm, don't be too forceful.
mm-hmm,
Pick them up and say, hey, I noticed that you're in this line of work. I am also. I'm looking to help you out, maybe once a week, twice a week, or
mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, you gotta give them something."
Yeah,
She says even herself, she looked for something back for people that she mentoring. Like, it's just not a free ride, really,
right,
right? It's a camaraderie, like
right.
everybody earning something or learning something from
Yeah.
each other. So that's pretty much what it is.
That's dope.
Right.
That's dope. So I want to talk about your public speaking. You've spoken in numerous engagements,
Hmm.
and I know that you were a shy person from what you've said.
Right.
Um, what was it like speaking for the first time compared to your last speaking engagement?
The first time was a couple years ago, and at a pop-up shop, I was hired to host it, and I just did it. I was nervous as hell. My armpits were sweating. I had to change my shirt like twice, but and I just did it because
Yeah.
I'm confident, and I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna just do this because I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
want to do it. Here's my shot. I didn't even get paid. It wasn't even about that. We got featured. Ezra was being like featured that night or whatever, so it was cool. I want to do this. I'm gonna do it. I'm a people person naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now I learned that when y'all give me this mic, it's like my dance floor. It's the best feeling in the world to host events. It feels
Mm-hmm.
so good to
Mm-hmm.
be the controller and like the facilitator of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that events without a host, it's like all over the place. There's no
Mm-hmm.
structure. Like, it's just things going on over here, people talking over here. A host kind of draws everybody's attention to the front or wherever the host is, and kind of makes the night go smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
So events without a host, I don't see how those things work. I just don't
Yeah.
see how it works.
Yeah,
I
you
really
need
don't.
one. You need one.
Compared to now, it's just like it's my dance floor. Right now, it's my dance floor.
That's dope. Now, listening to your first experience, you said you were nervous as hell, you were sweating, you had to change your shirt twice or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That sounds
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, right? It is easier or more comfortable to just not do it. If you just stayed in your house,
Right.
you'd be real comfortable. Netflix, chilling, that's
Right.
comfortable. Why go
Right.
through discomfort anyway?
Oh, I always push myself. You have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. You have to be uncomfortable. Like, a lot of my friends find comfort in discomfort, and I
Mm,
have to talk and mentor them out of that. Like, it is. You're right. It's easier to just sit down, not do nothing, not get a job, not go. It's so easy. But what's the benefit of that? Nothing. I know in my mind I want to do something. I gotta do it. It brings me back to when I was in high school having to play these girls that was much more experienced than me, taller than me. I remember one time I was guarding this girl. She was like 6'2".
mm.
I'm 5'5" on a good day. You understand what I'm saying? She was 6'4", nice. She was stocky. We played it was called Murray Bertram. I don't know if ever heard of Murray Bertram. I
Mm-mm.
forgot where it's at. It's in Manhattan or somewhere.
Okay.
Them girls they all giants, all of them. And we were just like, oh my God. It was time, the whole team, but we just pushed each other like, yo, we gonna do it because I'm not scared. I'm not fearful. I'm not.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
funny, it's almost bringing tears to my eyes because it shocks me about how fearless I am. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if I could be wearing pajamas, right? Let's say I'm wearing pajamas in the airport, like I'm just flying in between flights, and Jay-Z and Beyonce come in off they fight and they walking past. It's nothing that's gonna stop me from talking to Jay-Z in my pajamas. Nothing. Because why? That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm gonna excuse myself and say, look, I'm sorry I'm wearing pajamas, I'm in between fights, but I'm never gonna let them just walk past me. I will probably never see Jay-Z and Beyonce that close again. You know what I'm saying? So you have to just do it.
Yep.
You get shot down again. You learn that thick skin. It is what it is. They, no, we don't want no pictures. We don't want you. Cool, but I'm not gonna say what if I would have went to Beyonce and gave her a bottle of Esrevia.
Yeah.
You will never hear me say that.
Yep.
Never.
You and I, you and I are similar in the train of thought, like as far as being fearless, right? So I had to prove it to myself over time. Like when I first got in the car business, I was living in Georgia, drove back to New York, joined the car business. I was only at that dealership for 2 months, 2.5 months. My first month there, and this is not a brag, this is just what happened. My first month there, so 18 cars, I was salesperson of the month. I felt great.
Right.
I proved it to myself that I could do anything. Did you have a moment in your life where you proved it to yourself that you could do anything?
Every time I have a successful event or do something successfully, when these people are clapping and smiling and I'm making people dance and I'm just, you don't understand what it does to me. You don't understand what it does. And you know what? Right into this topic, I'm just now, between me and you and the world that's going to watch this, ballsy enough to charge for my services.
Oh.
I'm just now monetizing. Just now. Because everything was, I'll do it for free. No worry, I got you. I'm going to do it for free. Because in my mind, I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to pay for me to come host it. They'll let me do it for free. But my wife was like, you got to be out of your damn mind. And my friends and my family and even my clients, when I say I'll do it for free, I shoot myself in the foot because they're already willing to pay me. But nobody's going to be like, after you say free, they're not going to be like, oh, yeah, they're going to be like, all right. But it makes them like, why are you not charging for what you do? Just now, am I just now getting paid? All of the restaurant promotions and everything that I do, I never got a dime for none of that stuff. I'm just now forcing it out. Like, okay, that's going to cost you X amount. And it's hard to do that because, I know I have such a wide network of hosts, people that host and they charge $250 and this and that. And I'm like, can I enter that realm now?
Right.
Have I done enough to say that I can charge $50 an hour for my services? And I'm just going to do it. My resume is getting a little chunky. So I need to feel confident enough to do it, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you think great. Of course it does. Of course it does. Do you think that initially it was important to do it for free?
Yeah, because again, I feel like people are quick to ask, like, all right, well, what have you done before? Can I see some? And then you gotta have like a free ride. I think everybody should do that. Like if you're a cake baker, maybe you should do an event or 2 or 3 to give away some of your stuff so people could try it. I think everybody should have that trial freeness or like dirt cheapness or donation period.
Yeah.
Which I've done, but I think I've extended mine too long.
Okay.
I think I did mine too long.
Well, you get monetized.
Now I'm like, bro. I'm monetizing. I'm definitely monetizing now, and it's working. Nobody's giving me pushback. When I send my little proposal via email, they're like, okay, good. Where do I send my deposit? Like, it's working. And I feel like, okay, Ashanti, maybe you are good enough to charge. Like, all right, it's working.
How do you get to?
I'm appreciative.
How do you get to that space? There's plenty of people that go from I am not good enough to I do feel good enough, or people who are just stuck in the I'm not good enough space. How do you rewire your brain to then tell yourself that you are good enough?
Because with my experience, like I've done so much, and I'm like, all right, Ashanti, like you're not like, all right, you're doing all of these events for free. The crowd loves you. The people love you. The people who threw the event, they quick to call you back to come back to do another free. Something got to be good about what you're doing. Now, it also helps you weed people out. Because, all right, I done did 3 events for you for free. And then towards that last event for free, I'll say, okay, so for 2021 or towards the end of the fourth quarter of 2020, I might start charging small fees for my services. They'll say, okay, right? Okay, cool. I'll do that last event for free. And then the next one, I'll say, okay, here comes that small fee. Boom. I want to see what you're going to do. I
Right.
really do. I want to even see if you're going to call me for that last one because you know I'm about to charge you. And then when I do charge you, are you going to give me pushback? Or is it too much or whatever, whatever? I want to see. So it helps you with a lot of things, weeding people out, see things clearly. Like, it helps you with a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like your resume speaks volumes. Like, you've done a lot. You're reputable. You're honest. You know, I start with small fees. I'm not gonna jump out the gate and charge you $500 an hour. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's hosts that do that. They could do that. They're celebrities.
There's people that charge 10
$85,000
grand.
followers, and it's right to come just say 2 words on the mic. I'm not. You know what? And I don't want to do that because people are still struggling. We are in COVID, you know, and if people still managing to throw little intimate events and they need a host, I'm not going to charge you $600 for 2 hours. That's not, you know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, it's working. It's working.
I feel like you've given like a whole recipe to like how to go from shy, not really, you know, confident in myself, to really getting out there and monetizing your skills from just doing it. Because that, to me, is like the most important step. Just do it. Go out there, go fail, do poorly, just do it. How else you going to get good?
If I had a penny for the amount of times I felt defeated, cried, and thank God for my wife too. So that's a whole nother section of this recipe. What your support system look like. So I've always been self-motivated because yes, my family supports. They do support. My friends support, but there's times when we see it all the time when you're trying to sell a product and they won't be the first to buy. No. They just won't. Like, so a lot of people and entrepreneurs get defeated because their friends and family is not buying, you know, which they felt like they should. But self-motivation is key. It's key. Yeah, it's key. Grew up without a father. Didn't have that, you know, masculine push, only from my brother, who's great. He's 49 years old, so he's like 15 years older than me. So he always played the man of the house. He always was there. He came to my basketball games and stuff like that. But a real father, like a dad. I don't call my brother dad. You know what I'm saying? I call him my brother. I never had that in my life. So I wish I did, because the girls in the basketball team, they father used to come to the game, stand on the side, encourage them, yell at them, strategize with them. And I used to want that so bad. And even now in my business, my entrepreneurial stuff I'm doing, I wish I had a father some days. Yeah. Sometimes I feel so defeated, and I'm still lesbian and all. I'm still a young woman. I wish I could be daddy's little girl. Sometimes I really wish I would, to, you know, help. Here, babe, here's 10,000, here's 5,000, what you need, here's my credit or whatever. I never had that. Right. So, you know, it makes things harder. So what does your support system look like? Because it could make things easier or harder for you as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So question, did you ever know your dad?
No.
Okay. Do you see, now I know that not having dad around can definitely be a hindrance in a lot of different areas. You know, my dad was around, just not in the household. So then there was a difference between me and friends that had their dad every day. They had that day-to-day experience. I got the holidays, and he spent as much time as he could, but it was just a difference. Are there any positives you can see coming from that? And I'll say this, because you and I talk about God all the time. We're in the book club and we always talk about God, right? Right. And so my very favorite verse is Romans 8:28. All things work to the good of those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose, right? Are you at the point yet in your life where you can see how that worked for your good, or has God not revealed that to you yet?
It depends on what I'm going through at the moment. Because when I'm defeated in this game, this wine game, it's not a joke. So the lows are low. Yeah. And it hurts. It hurts to the core. I suffer with bad anxiety, So a lot of things might not be as bad as I'm making it, but because I have anxiety, it just seems like it's so much worse. But I have a lot of crying nights and a lot of days that I wish I had a father to just cry on or being rescued from. I've seen friends whose dad has helped them with their business, Dad bought them a car. And I never had that. I don't know what that's like to just be like, oh, I asked my father, or my father paid for it. I wish I had that just to say, you know, but I didn't. So I felt like I was coming up through the ground. My mother did a good job raising us on the bare minimum. She wasn't rich either. Public assistance, all of that, you know. So she, in terms of putting the roof over our head and stuff, she got it. She got the great Christmases, dope Thanksgivings, everything was good. But in terms of business and credit and learning and growing and stuff, I literally had to do that on my own. Yeah. Literally, nobody was there to teach me any of that. My brother taught me the little that he knew, but he wasn't really taught either. So the little that he knew was really a little. So me and all my siblings, we jacked about credit first go round. Like we didn't know. Yes. So imagine if you were taught in a more structured home with credit and business and finance and saving and all of that. I feel like half the battles I'm fighting now and trying to dig myself out of, I wouldn't be, because it was already set up for me.
Do you think that you would still have that same like go get it mentality? Do you think that would still apply?
I wouldn't know, because that's the thing. Like when you ask me all things, that's probably what it is. Maybe if I had not a red carpet or silver spoon, but if I had it, I wouldn't want to so desperately do something for generational wealth, because I'm desperately seeking that. To break these chains of just getting a 9-to-5 and pension and all of that whack shit that you got to work 60 years for and then retire, get a like I that structure, I just wasn't with it. I felt that from high school. Getting a job at a 9-to-5, it's just, it never wasn't.
Same. You know, a lot of people push like statistics, and you know, a lot of statistics are true. But when you listen to like your story, and this is not me putting you down at all, but when you listen to your story, you have anxiety. That's supposed to be a red flag, right? You didn't have your father growing up, never knew him. That's supposed to be a red flag. You're a lesbian in a world that is now adjusting to it, but it took a long time to get there. That's supposed to be a red flag. But you were like jumping over these hurdles anyway. And there are other little girls just like you. No dad, has anxiety. They're lesbians, married, and they look at that as an ex. I don't see it as an ex. I see it as
I don't see it as an ex.
Oh man, that's part of your battery.
I've never put myself in that, oh, the world is against me in society. I've never been that. I've always been more accountable for my own actions and my own path. And me and God, it's been times I felt so alone. I would have like 10, 15 people around me just feeling alone, because sometimes you feel like nobody understands your battles. Like, nobody gets it, even though you got 20 people around you. I feel like it's just something for me and God. Like he pulled me through a lot. Bought my first car by myself when I was 21. Drove it off the lot. Put my little $1,000 down. Like, to me, a father should have been there with their 21-year-old daughter buying a car. Yeah. Or even a mom. But I didn't have that. I just didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? So I did a lot of stuff by myself. A lot. And I desired to provide a nice life for my life, and you know, I'm glad that we're growing together financially, spiritually, and credit wise. We're just growing together. That's awesome. My friends, and I'm willing to take everybody with me. Let's just go up. Let's just go up.
How does somebody who deals with anxiety speak in public? How does that work? How do you I don't know, cut one off, mesh the two? How does that work?
It's weird. If I get anxiety if I'm not doing that, because whether it's free or paid, I can't be in the house just not doing nothing.
I guess maybe that's my preconceived notion. That's my preconceived notion of what anxiety is. I'm thinking that it's when you engage with people, but I'm sure there's different aspects that you can have anxiety. It doesn't necessarily have to be around people.
I get anxiety not doing nothing. Like if I'm just in the house, let's just say 24 hours go by and nothing really happens with Ezravir. Like nothing happens. It's just a regular day. I feel anxious. Like, why didn't we get a new account? Or why didn't we get in this blog over here? Like, something has to happen every single day, or else I have anxiety. So being on the mic, it doesn't make me anxious at all. It makes me feel really good. Like, really, really, really good.
Yeah. Through your childhood and becoming an adult, who did you see that helped you believe that the grander things were possible?
Who did I see? It would be people who own businesses.
Mm.
That's exactly. It wasn't a celebrity or anything like that, or celebrities. It would be people who own businesses. I used to walk into different businesses, like especially mom and pop stores, and even like an Old Navy or a Gap. I'm a big research buff, like history. So I'll go back. Let's say I was like 11 or 12, and I'll go into Macy's. Then I'll go home and try to read about Macy's because I know somebody started it. One person or two people
Yep.
did that, and
Yep.
now you look and it's like this grand X amount of thousand square foot store. They have a million of them, and I'm just like, wow, somebody did this. I want to do this. I want my own, and
Mm-hmm.
that's from walking into a Macy's or walking into a 200-foot pizza shop. It doesn't matter. Somebody's owning this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wanted to do, my own. I always had that entrepreneur. I told you, like, I just didn't see myself working for people for too long. It helped me get to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Like 9 to 5s, like I don't hate them or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just not my thing.
Right.
It's not.
Right. Is there a moment or moments, at least one that stands out to you that says, Ashanti, I'm real proud of you and what you've done?
Yeah. But sadly, a lot of times I feel defeated. I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Mm.
Sadly.
So
And that,
what's
that
that
could be
moment?
me.
Yeah.
That could be just me. Because my wife is always there to reassure me of all of my accomplishments and how proud she is, and my friends. And I think it's safe to say that people genuinely love me.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't want to start crying. Um, Sometimes, you feel like you're not doing enough,
Mm-hmm.
but, it's people like you that asked to interview me. You know what I'm saying? You could have been interviewing anybody else, but you can't beat yourself up too much. You just can't. You can't beat
No.
yourself up too much. You just gotta, you gotta keep going. And I do look at everything I do, and I am proud.
Good.
I do wish that I would have, maybe even you might feel that you would have did more you know, at this stage in your life, but you gotta just be grateful for where you at.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because
That's
I mean,
it.
I also like to think about the other direction. Like
Right.
if I would have kept going down certain paths, wouldn't
Right.
be here today. And I feel you on that not doing enough thing because I deal with that all the
Right.
time. I can't have idle
Right.
moments. Then I feel like I'm failing. My life
Right.
is just going out of sorts. I deal with that
Right.
as well where I have to sit down and I need cheerleaders, right? I need like
Right.
a friend or a relative to be like, yo, you did XYZ.
That's
It's like,
very
okay,
real.
all right, you're
Right.
right.
And then
Let me chill out.
yeah, like you said, and my ability to help people, my desire to just help people is tremendous. Is
Yeah,
I want to move up, and I want to see my people around me doing the same thing and just being positive. So
yeah.
I think that I'm doing well.
So tell me about
I
that
have to.
moment or those moments a moment that you could look back on and say, dang, Ashanti, you really did that. What's a moment like that for you?
Well, getting us casted on that show on Discovery Channel, that was my entry. Defeated at work. It was 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and I had to start at 7. And I said, like, all right, before I start, I'm just gonna log into Facebook and
Mm-hmm.
see and I saw this post. My friend had reposted a post like, any entrepreneurs out there, that's struggling to go from your 9 to 5 into your entrepreneur, we want to hear it. And
Mm-hmm.
I answered the call, and that next day on Monday, I got the call, a phone call. She set up a phone call to have another. She set up a call to have a call with me later that day. She said,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to call you to give you a free later. She did. She interviewed me very briefly, like 20 minutes, and she said, okay, can you guys jump on a call with me tomorrow with your partners? And I was just like, okay. So I called Jazz and Ty, like, yo, and then after that call, she was like, do you mind? Can you guys jump on a Zoom call with me on Thursday? So we was like, okay. So now we Zoom in. So it's us three and her. Interviewed us for like 2 hours, right?
Wow.
Then she's like, okay, well now you guys mind doing a Zoom call with my boss next Monday? So what we were doing was didn't know we were going through the casting process. We were just
Right.
knocking them out, knocking them out. It was at least, I would say, like 6 interviews because we kept going up the ranks. After her boss, it was her boss, and his boss. And it was just like more and more people on these Zoom calls and these phone calls. And then like a month later, we got like a congratulations, you guys been casted for Discovery Channel. And we were just like, whoa. So then we started filming. A couple months after that, we started filming. It was just history. So if I wasn't in my defeat, right, in that moment, and I answered that email right there, that call, I answered it right there, and then I just pressed enter, and I got my work started. What if I didn't do that? And I was feeling low that day. I was just like, I can't believe it. I don't know what's going on. You know, Ezra it was here, but we just was kind of stagnant. We just needed something, and that was it. That was
I know what he doing, boy.
Orders our steps. It's crazy.
Amen. Amen. And I know that you have a big heart and that you look to help people. What is one of the major influences or impacts you'd love to leave on people through your work?
Hardworking, because nothing comes for free. And you gotta struggle to get where you at. I want people to know that what y'all seeing is cute, but there's a lot that goes on to maintain it and to get where you need to get. You know, I've never had a handout. Again, no father figure, nobody say, here's 20 grand, girl, towards your business, your business ventures. I got never. Everything was a lot of research, crying nights, and interning, and just kind of soaking like a sponge. It takes a lot. It takes a lot, and I think, I don't know, trying to have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because that is a challenge.
Yeah.
Trying to have fun. It is fun. For the most part, it is. I love what I do.
Yeah.
But it's not always peaches and cream. It's really not.
Right.
I don't want to scare anybody with that. I'm being real. I think any entrepreneur could attest to that, because it's not, but this is for the greater good.
Tell me if you agree with me. I feel like in order to make it through all those rough times, you have to love it. I think
you have to, because I'm running from a standard life. Like, I don't want to live standard. Right. I think on this earth, and Jasmine says the same thing, we want a little taste of heaven. We didn't create Ezra Veer for us to benefit from a lot in this lifetime. Hennessy is 100 years old.
Right.
The people who created Hennessy, they never knew it would be that big today, 100 years ago. They just created it because it tastes good. It's a great whiskey or cognac, and they made it. And they made a couple thousands at the time in their lifetime. But those men that made it didn't know what Hennessy would be today. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. They had no idea. So we want Ezra Veer to be legacy. It's a legacy. We're not going to experience the fullness of Ezra Veer in his lifetime. We're not. But we want Ezra Veer to be around for 100 years. And that is, it's a great wine to drink in 100 years, because, it's being ran properly. And that's what we really want. But we want a little bit of it while we're here.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Right.
Well, Ashanti, what's up next for you that you'd like to share with us?
I'm blessed because, I was going over my calendar for December, and I'm booked 8 days out of December. Paid. Hello. Paid events in December. And I'm putting them on the calendar, and my wife is just so happy. So I'm grateful for that. And we're just preparing for this New Year's rush that we are going to get, especially for the champagne.
Yes.
Is going to hit.
Yes.
So we're trying to rally up, see how many cases we got in the warehouse and stuff for that, and just kind of get through that season. We're also preparing to kind of, for marketing, whatever rebranding we're going to do, because after New Year's, the wine business gets really, alcohol gets really slow.
Okay.
It gets really slow. After that, January is probably the slowest month in the year for alcohol industry. Then it picks up a little bit for Valentine's Day, just a little bit, and then after that it's just until the summer. Yeah. So the first quarter in liquor is just a slow. It gives you time to rebrand, re-merchandise, whatever you're going to do. Get your thought processes in order for the year. So that's what we're working on, the first quarter of next year.
That's dope. That's dope. Where can people find you and more about your company?
All right, so you can find Ezra Veer on IG at EzraVeer_wines. on Facebook at Ezravir Wines, no underscore, so Ezravir Wines. You can follow my personal page on IG. It's Ashanti the Boss on IG. So it's Ashanti the Boss Middleton. And the website, www.ezravirwines.com. And they'll show you all of the locations that we're in currently.
Awesome. Awesome. Lastly, Ashanti, is there a quote that you live by?
Yes. Hard lesson I had to learn. When people show you who they are, believe them. And I love it because it's the truth. And a lot of times we don't adhere to that. We give them chance after chance or whatever. No, I've learned that. And I'm the cutoff queen, Keisha. The cutoff queen now. Because I don't have no space and energy to be sad or hurt behind people. And especially if you ain't do nothing to them, I'm the cutoff queen. I'll tell you that. If you cross me, I don't know what's gonna happen after that. I don't know. I might forgive you, but definitely the second time it's not happening.
Right. I feel you. Ashanti.
I'm a Cancer.
Yeah, I know about y'all. I know about y'all. Y'all love hard, but y'all are cut off.
Right, we love hard. Right.
Well, Ashanti, thank you so much for being on today. I can't wait to speak to you again in the future. I know you and I are just going to continue talking with each other, and I just thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Keisha, for having me. And I love you, and I appreciate you, and thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'll have you back on for sure.
Please do.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, be sure to follow Ashanti and her journey and follow Ezravir Wines and their journey. If you have not subscribed already to the Tied Together podcast, please do so below, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye, Ashanti.
Later.